Hey, Instagram. What's going on? What's going on? Let's see. Having issues with Facebook. If y'all are here, say, hey, what's up? Let me know that you're here. Let's try this again on Facebook. So maybe if I could disconnect the Wi-Fi. Hey, Homeschool Sylvia 5. Maybe if I disconnect from the Wi-Fi, it'll work. Hope you're doing okay. I'm trying to get on Facebook. I was on Facebook. And then it kicked me off or whatever. Let's see if I can get it to go. So hopefully you're doing okay, right? We have a quick conversation because I have a couple of people that are joining or jumping in my inbox, and I wanted to answer some questions for you. Hey, thank you so much for joining me. So Facebook, thank y'all so much for joining me. I know that this is extremely impromptu, but y'all know me by now that I go random, like either when I'm working or whatever, or something's on my mind and I need to get it off of my mind before I lose it. I go ahead and just go live immediately. So y'all come on in here, say, hey, what's up? Let me know that you're here. If you're on Instagram, tag some people and have them get in here in this room. If you're on Facebook, do me a favor and please share. And let's get some people in here because this is going to be a really good conversation. Hey, Allison. Y'all, I was sitting in the driveway and snuck off to get me some Starbucks. And I was sitting in the driveway hiding, running from my kids. Hey, Jasmine-Eke. Hey, girl. Hey. Hiding from my kids. Let me just be honest. I can't do nothing else but be honest with you. I was hiding from my kids in my driveway, trying to gain some peace for a few minutes. We're on break right now. My kids have been arguing a crazy amount. Like, they have been driving me nuts. And so my husband went to go run some errands real quick, and I was like, forget it. I'm going to go grab me some coffee. So I grabbed some coffee, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to sit in the car and enjoy my coffee and look through my messages, my inboxes, and see what, what's going on, what I haven't checked today. And I had a couple of people in my inbox, asking questions about what to do to get started. So their question was, they started with the virtual, goodness gracious, y'all, it's hot in here. They started with the virtual schooling, right? And they thought that it was going to work, but come to find out it is not working. Hey, Chantrice, it's not working. So A, it's not working for them, their child. B, they assumed that homeschooling, right? Even though they're not homeschooling, they're virtual schooling, but they assumed that it was going to be more difficult than it actually was. And when they did virtual school and realized that it was a lot easier, they decided to go ahead and shift into homeschooling. And so we had a couple people in my inbox, and then I've been seeing posts of people saying, well, I wish I could homeschool, all that kind of stuff. And so I wanted to come live and talk about that real quick with you. If you can, do me a favor, y'all, please share. If you're on Facebook, if you're on Instagram, go ahead and get some people, tag some people, get them in the room. Y'all, let me sip my coffee while I'm hiding from my kids. Don't judge me. You can judge me. It's okay. I don't care. But so let's just start here, okay? So you finally made the decision to homeschool. Like, you finally said, this is it. I think I can do this. I'm gonna go for a run. I'm gonna take like my best shot at this, right? And so at this point, I think what people think is more important, or is the number one step, is for you to worry about the curriculum, right? And I'm going to be honest with you, when we transitioned into homeschooling, that was my thing as well. And y'all, if y'all see me looking back and forth, it's because I have Facebook on this camera, and then I have Instagram right here on my iPad on this camera. So I'm trying to make contact with both of you guys, okay? So if you see me going back and forth, that's why. So anyway, a lot of people think that curriculum is your first worry. Like, curriculum is the thing that you need to be worried about constantly. Like, what am I going to teach them? Where am I going to get this money? How am I going to teach them? All that good stuff. And I know that it sounds strange. If you followed me, then you know this. You're on Facebook. You followed me for a while by now. I think I'm going into my third year now. I want you to tell me what I say about curriculum being your first concern. If you know, say it with me, okay? Or just say it if you know it. Sorry, I keep switching the camera around. So what do I say about curriculum? A lot of people worry about curriculum first, right, when they're switching to homeschooling. But what do I say about curriculum? Thanks for joining me on Instagram, guys. And thank you so much for joining me on Facebook. So I don't know if it's delayed. Right, Jasminique, there you go. It's your last concern. Hey, Marvina. So curriculum is your last concern. I know it sounds crazy. I know it's weird. I know it doesn't make sense to the average person. But I wanted to come live and explain that to you, okay? You're absolutely correct. Latavia says, learn who your children are first. Right. So the thing is that when you transition into homeschooling from traditional school, and let me just talk about myself. Okay. Thank you so much, Jaquithia. I'm just going to talk about myself. When I transitioned to homeschooling, I thought, because I had managed all these people. Remember, I told you guys that I was a manager over a huge department. I had hundreds of people that were direct reports to me, to my department. And because I was in management and learned how to lead and do these different teams, like I had four different teams. And then I had some other people underneath me. So I had a bunch of people that were reporting directly to me. And I thought that I could come home with that managerial experience, managing those people. Hey, Mia, thank you for joining me. I thought that I could come home and manage the school the way that they manage school in the public school, right? So y'all, again, if you heard my story, my kids keep peeking out the window. Like, I want to fight them, y'all, because I told them to leave me alone, child. This is my break time. I'm joking about the fight. Don't take me seriously. So when they came home, when they came home, y'all, I had my husband, he was driving down the street one day and he was going down some type of estate sale or building sale or something like that. I don't really remember, but however, they had these desks. The desk would, when you, they were the kind of desks where they swung up in the front of you. I know y'all know what I'm talking about. They're the little half desk, right? So they swing to the back and they're just a regular chair, or they can swing in front of you and be a desk. And so we had bought 3 of those for all 3 of our kids. I had this whole plan. We were going to be up by 8 o'clock. School was going to be starting by 8:30, 8:45. Like, we had this whole big old plan about how things were going to work. And I could not figure out for the life of me why it wasn't working, y'all. I went and bought books. And when I say I bought books, y'all, I went to Half Price Books and I bought a bunch of old textbooks. And they were older textbooks, but they weren't like 20 years, 25 years, but they were older. So they were a few years older than, what we would like to have used, to be honest with you. But I bought old textbooks, y'all. We were finna go through these textbooks from cover to cover. We was about to cover it all. Like, it was about to be the bomb, right? Like, that's how it was gonna be for us. And y'all, I was left on the side of my bed the very first night of us homeschooling, crying because my kids were like, fam, this ain't it. Like, they were giving me the blues, y'all. They were driving me nuts. They were driving me crazy. And so through my studies, reading all my articles, my books and all that good stuff, I learned that curriculum is not the very first thing. There's beans. Y'all, we have a stray cat that comes over to our house. Don't tell my husband. Shh. Don't snitch, okay? He comes over to the house to grab some food, and some days we may or may not leave some food for him to eat. It's trash day today, so he knows that there's going to be something there for him. And we called him Beans. His name is Beans. He's a black and white cat. Y'all, don't judge me. Don't judge me. But he's here, so he knows that there's going to be food. And so anyway, where was I at, y'all? Bless my heart. Bless my little heart. So we knew that, why y'all didn't tell me nobody was walking up on me? The lady's delivering the groceries. I didn't even realize it. But anyway, so back to the conversation. Hold on, y'all. Thank you. They'll get it. Thank you very much. Y'all, help me, Father. Where was I at? So curriculum is the last worry. Let's just start with that, okay? So curriculum is the last concern when it comes down to it. When you are homeschooling, you are ready to move and transition into Chantrice. I can't, like, my husband won't let me adopt him. So he's like the street cat, fam. Like, he just goes from house to house. I'm gonna be honest with you. And he just comes and he'll sit on the porch, or he'll sit on the like right on the side, well, it's not the sidewalk, but right on our walkway, and he'll just sit there quietly and wait, because he knows on the days he's going to get fed. Like, he knows. So today is trash day, so he knows he's probably going to get something. If he doesn't get something from us, he'll get something out of the trash. So um but again, curriculum is not your first worry, and let me explain to you why. Traditional school is completely different than homeschooling. I know that there is a traditional style of homeschooling, so there is a way that you can homeschool that is more traditional than the other methods, is what it is. And it took me a minute to realize, after reading articles, asking questions, all that good stuff, that there was a very big difference between traditional school and homeschooling. And so what I'm saying to you is that when you're starting this journey, when you're moving forward with that, there is a big difference between the two. And so you have to do a full mind shift, a mind change. You have to change the way you see or the way you think of things. You have to change them. And so what that means is that one thing that we did that was really important was that we de-schooled. And I've explained this to you guys before, but I'm gonna explain it to you again just in case you didn't hear. But we do not, you didn't hear, that sounds rude, but you know what I mean. But de-schooling is basically breaking yourself of being in the habit of being in the traditional school system. So running things like the traditional school system, having bells and timers, and, well, not timers because we use those, but having bells, walking in line, learning what everybody else is learning, moving even though you don't fully understand the concept, moving on to the next subject without your child fully understanding the concept. Now, I'm not dogging the traditional school system. They have to do that in order for them to move forward in their school year. They have to move forward. Like, they have to do that. So unfortunately, there are going to be children that are left behind. Homeschooling allows you to have the freedom to not have that happen. So again, I've explained to you that my child was having issues with facts. His facts. He could not remember them to save his life. He takes after his mama. There are certain ones that I remember. There's certain ones that I don't remember. And so because of that, we ended up staying on multiplication facts for a seriously long time. And when I say seriously, y'all, I'm not talking about a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Like, we tried it several different ways. We used all different programs. We used flashcards. We used games. We did, as a matter of fact, one summer, we spent the entire summer just working on memorizing the facts. And to be honest with you, he does not have them all memorized now. However, he understands a concept. He understands different ways to get the answers that he needs to get when he needs to get them. And so that's what we worked on for an entire summer, is what we worked on. If you were in the traditional school system, you would not have that option of sticking to whatever your child needs or whatever information they're struggling with. You wouldn't have that option. And so when you're de-schooling, that's the type of stuff you're breaking yourself of the habit. Like, I've got to get this done. Got to get this done. This has got to be done today. This has got to be done right now. It's more so of, I want him to get this. I want them to understand this concept. I am not moving forward until my child understands this basic concept. Because what we know, just talking about math in general, the foundations of math, if you can't add, subtract, multiply, or divide, you are screwed. Like, if you can't do those things, when it gets to the upper level of math, you will struggle for the rest of your life. Understanding those basic concepts will help you, further down the line. And we understand that now. And so that's what basically de-schooling is breaking the habit of being in the traditional school system. And so before you start talking about curriculum, before you start going out and purchasing curriculum, and I'm your girl, I'm gonna be honest with you, I did that exact thing. I went out there in them streets and started purchasing stuff I had no daggone business purchasing, because we were not at that level yet. But before you do all that, you should also, so you're doing that, and the next thing you want to do is you want to get to know your children, okay? So you want to know your babies as little people. I talk about this all the time. So you couldn't tell me back in the day that I didn't know my kids. Like, I know my babies. Nobody knows my babies more than I do. I know what they like, they love, they hate. I know all that good stuff. But what I did not know about my kids was I did not know them as little people. And I know that sounds strange, and I know that sounds crazy, but listen to me. I didn't know them as little people who had their own identity and their own idea and their own reasoning and all that good stuff. And so what I will say, for example, you want to learn what makes them tick, okay? You want to learn what makes them happy, what makes them upset. You want to learn why they do the things they do. Ask them questions and they'll tell you, right? Giving them the freedom to, explore or whatever the case may be. So for us, it was simple things like my son would do something that I would think was different. And we don't say weird in our house, we say different. Because I don't want my kids to think just because somebody does something different, it's weird. It's not weird, it's just different. And so we would say, like, if he would do something different, I would be like, oh, that's different. Why do you do that? What is the purpose? Like, why do you do that? And he would explain. Not realizing as an adult that my son had a whole thought process on why he was doing the things that he was doing. But he was, hey, son, he just jumped on my live. Not realizing that he was doing things the way that he did them because it made sense to him, right? And this kid, he's absolutely amazing. He is completely outside of the box. Hey, Toya. Hey, Kristen. He is like, when I tell you he's completely outside of the box, we are way different. Like, my son and I are completely different. But the thing about him that I love about him more than anything else is that he can take something that I would see that's so difficult or so hard, or maybe something that I don't necessarily understand, and he would make it so simple just by doing it the way that he chose to do it, right? Like by seeing it through his eyes. And so what I'm saying is, before you get to curriculum, before you do all that good stuff, get to know your kids as little people. Ask them why they do the things they do. Ask them the questions. Ask them this. Like, you want them to know that you hear them. You want them to care. You want to care about what they're thinking. You want to ask them questions like, what are you interested in? For instance, I could say, I thought that you were interested in, I'm going to use this kid again because he's here, right? I thought you were interested in basketball. And then come to find out he's not necessarily interested in basketball. He's only doing basketball because I love basketball, which is true. I love basketball. I love coaching it. I love playing it. I love watching it. And so what are you doing in the midst of that? What are you doing to get to know your child as little people? So that's the first thing that you need to worry about, okay? Once you do all that, then you're going to move to the method of homeschooling. And so you want to talk about, like, you want to figure out what method fits your family. Our family is eclectic, okay? I am a control freak to the T. I'm going to be very honest with you. I like things to be in a certain place in a certain way. Don't try to switch what I'm trying to do because I'm controlling it. Like, no. And so we have different ways there's different methods that you can homeschool. And so we pieced together all the different methods of homeschooling and created our homeschooling journey. A tailor fit, right? It was tailored to us. And so what I'm saying to you is, again, before you get to the curriculum, right? You're learning about your child and who they are. You're deschooling in the process. You're, trying to figure out what they want to learn. And then you're going through and determining the method of homeschooling. And then once you do the method, you're determining, like, what type of homeschooler are you going to be? Like, how does your child learn? Like, all of this should be happening way before you purchase curriculum, because once you figure out the type of learner your child is, the type of homeschool environment, or the method of homeschooling that you're going to do, then that will help you decide and negate which curriculum is going to work for you and your family. Don't be like Sean. Don't be like Sean. Sean was out there giving everybody her money for no stinking reason, because I had no idea of the importance of knowing what my kids wanted to learn, knowing how my kids learned, and knowing how we were going to run our homeschool. Like, we can't do a traditional home. Like, we couldn't do something like, let me just use this. Becca is extremely traditional. It's just like being in the regular school system, okay? Our kids use some part of Becca, but we wouldn't be able to use a full curriculum of Becca because that's not how our life works. We would be incredibly behind. We would struggle tremendously if we could not control how we've done things. Now, Becca, let me give a caveat to that. Becca has two different programs. There's two different options. So you can do their program accredited, or you can do your own. But we couldn't do the accredited just solely off of how we run our life and the things that we do. And so that matters when you're trying to purchase curriculum. All of that matters, okay? And y'all are more than welcome to ask questions. Y'all know I answer questions. I have no issues with that, right? Marvina says, awesome. Jasmine says, how long did it take you to get your tailor fit? How long did it take me to get my tailor fit? It took a minute. I'm going to be very honest with you. A lot of people are used to the microwave. You know what? And let me stop saying a lot of people, and we're just going to talk about Sean. Sean is used to the microwave type of lifestyle. She is used to clicking the Amazon link, making her order, and it being at her doorstep either that evening or the next day. That's what Sean is used to. And so Sean is also used to having a problem and being able to read, research, solve it immediately without a bunch of work. Like, to be honest with you, that's what it is. Or Sean is used to purchasing and or finding someone else that can do the work instead of her doing it herself. Just being honest, okay? That's Sean, okay? I'm not talking about nobody else. I'm talking about myself, okay? And so when we homeschool, y'all, I thought I had it licked. I'm used to the microwave. I got this. I can do this. We should be good together, good to go, ready to go. The first month we should be good. No ma'am, no ham, no bacon. That is not how it worked for us. It took us a long time, a long time to get it together. I would say you are going to go through pushes and pulls and twists and turns and ups and downs, and this is great and this is sucks. You're going to go through all of that for probably about a year, to be very honest with you. I say it takes a nice minute to find whatever it is that you need. I'm sorry, y'all. That's my husband calling me. So it's going to take you about a year to find your system, your tailor-made fit. It is going to take literally about a year to find your tailor-made fit. And I want to encourage you while you're going through that transition, because there are going to be some days that are going to be hard. There are going to be some days where you've got it figured out. There are going to be some days where you don't have it figured out, but trust the process. I cannot say that enough. That's somebody else's line. Dr. Marquita Blades, that's her line. But trust the process. Honestly, it takes a minute to get your wings. It takes a minute. And to be honest with you guys, when you get your wings, right? Shoot, I got this. What was I worried about? Shoot, I'm the homeschool guru. I got this, right? When you get to that point, there will be days where you'll be like, oh, I don't got this. And I know that's incorrect grammar. I don't care. But it's like, I don't got this. And you'll be like, babe, you know what? Let me stop saying what you'll be saying. Let me say what I've said to my husband. Sweetheart, babe, are we doing the right thing? Like, is this the right thing, or do we need to move on? Like, and he'll be like, no, we know this is the right thing. Maybe we just need to switch some stuff up. Like, maybe we just need change some things. Okay. Let's see. Jaquita says, I did the same thing, just throwing away money. I know, y'all. Every time when we first switched over to homeschooling, and I'm going to be very honest with you, one subject that I struggle with is, well, I've told y'all that, math, but ELA. The curriculum for ELA I have bought, y'all, we have tried so many different ELA curriculums, and I think now, and I can't tell you exactly what year this is, we're homeschooling now, maybe 5 at this point, and I might be lying. Maybe 5, I think. I don't know. But we have tried, that first year, we tried a lot of curriculum, ELA curriculum. We tried The Good and the Beautiful. We tried Grammar Galaxy. We tried Well-Ordered Language. We tried, what's that other one? I can't think of what it is. We tried a lot of ELA programs, and it was not working for us. And if you're unfamiliar with ELA, I know that's a Texas thing, but it's English Language Arts. They call it ELA. Well, they call it ELAR now, but it's English Language Arts and Reading. And I couldn't find a curriculum to teach the kid. Like, I couldn't do it. I was unsuccessful with it. Until this year, we started using IEW, which is not necessarily it's a writing curriculum, but it's working for us. And so it'll take time, guys. I'm just being honest with you. I don't want you to think that you've got this figured out and it's just going to be amazing. Yo, it's hotter than fish grease in this car. And the heat's not even on. Help me, Father. Let me see. It's hot in here. Let's see. Instantaneous, right? People expect that. Jasminique says, oh, I feel better hearing that. Yeah, it takes about a year. And again, 1 minute it'll be great, right? 1 minute you'll have it all figured out. It's going to be amazing. People, like, we are doing, great. There are days, I'm going to be very honest with you, and I tell you guys this all the time. And the only reason why I'm completely honest with you guys is because I want you to understand that just like you, I'm human and I struggle, but I also want you to know that you're not alone. But there will be days where we're rocking it, y'all. I mean, like, it's dope. I get up at my normal 7 o'clock, get started on our family business. The kids get up on their own at 10 o'clock. I don't have to worry about them. They fix their breakfast. They sit down and read. We going through all the subjects. Bam, 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 bam. Bam, 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 bam. Sorry, I was reading a text message from my husband. Like, we're done by 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and now we're moving on to practices, and dinner is already cooking, and it's going to be ready, and people get showers. Like, there will be days where it's absolutely amazing. And then the very next day, we'll do the exact same thing, and everything's screwed up, okay? Everything's jacked up, right? Marvina says, yup. Marvina says, we use a lot of traveling as well as we homeschool. Exactly. Tracy says, how's IEW? I just started Essentials in Writing. I like it. IEW, guys, I really like IEW. I like it. It is extensive. There's a lot to do. And one of the things that I'm doing too is that I have outsourced this as well. And I'm having somebody else teach my kids. However, I am there listening to the class because usually I'm working or something in the background, and I enjoy the curriculum, and they enjoy it. It's teaching my 14-year-old who typically struggles with writing. And I've explained this to you guys before. He has some comprehension issues. Not that he just doesn't get it. He just understands things differently, right? It may take him a minute to process some things. And so, but IEW has been able to break it down piece by piece and help him formulate and write his essays and all that stuff. So like for my older and my younger, I could say, go write a story about the house. They would write a story, complete sentences, grammar would be great. They'd have all these words describing it, all these great things. But then when it came to him writing his, he couldn't necessarily get the thoughts that was going on in his head down on his paper. And so that's helped a lot. And so I love IEW, to be honest. Out of all the other curriculums that we have done, I ain't gonna lie, IEW is a pretty penny, but once we're done with what we have, we will probably buy the rest of it and keep going. But yeah, you guys, you have so many different options. And so here's the thing. I just gave you all the tips, right, that you need to do when it comes to homeschooling and transitioning into homeschooling. Like I just told y'all all that. But some of you know and some of you don't know that I am also a best-selling author, right? Like I'm the only one that has a book out there that tells you how to transition to homeschooling successfully. And it's called How to Transition to Homeschooling. And if you go to my website for the book, which is howtotransitiontohomeschooling.com. You can get the book on Amazon. You can get the paperback book. I've got books available to send out immediately if that's something that you want to do. But there are a bunch of things that you can do that you need to do, to be honest with you, before you even go down the route of actually buying curriculum. And I know that sounds crazy, but trust your girl. Like, trust me, you're going to drive yourself nuts. You're going to drive yourself nuts if you do it that way. Okay. So does anybody else have any questions, y'all? I just felt like coming live real quick. Y'all, I need to go in the house and cook dinner. I'm also supposed to be working out at 6 o'clock. It's 5:49. We'll see how that goes. I don't know. I might do a recording later on. So does anybody else have any questions? There are so many different options. Again, so many different things that you need to do before. Y'all, I can't sing. But before you buy a curriculum, before you take your hard-earned money, before you swipe that card, before you write that check, before you set up that auto pay, before you do any of that, there are so many different things that you need to do before you start purchasing curriculum. And so I want to be honest with you and let you know that there's options. Again, my name is Shawn Taylor. If you're unfamiliar with me, I am the homeschool guru. If you have any questions, guys, let me know. Ask questions. Let me help you find your tailor-made fit. Let me help you find that. Because the fact of the matter is, No two journeys are the same. They're all different, but what you can do is take the information that you need or you want and make your tailor-made fit, okay? And so if you're gonna do that, I'm your girl. I'm the one that can help you do it, because that's my forte. People saying, you got to do it this way, you got to do it that way. I was like, no, that's not how it works. Like, I know it sounds like it should be easy like that, but it's not. It's not like that. We're not the same. We're not created the same. Our kids are not the same. Shoot, my kids got the same mama and the same daddy, and they completely different. Like, we're not the same, right? Let's see. Thank you so much, Jasmine. I appreciate you. Thank you, Jaquithia. Marvina says, thank you. Your insight and knowledge sharing is caring. Happy Kwanzaa. You too. You guys, thank you so much. Please share. You're welcome, Tracy. You guys, I don't know if I will be coming live again. I imagine so, because y'all know I'm random as hell, to be very honest with you. So do me a favor. Just set your notifications. That's all I need you to do. Just set your notifications so you know when I'm going live, because I'm random. Real talk. And so I may come back live later on to... No, I'm not. Nope, because I'm working on my website. So no, I'm not coming live today. But I will be coming back live soon, I'm sure. You guys are most welcome. I appreciate you. You guys have an absolutely wonderful night. Listen, do me a favor today. Even if it means sitting in the car hiding from your kids like I'm doing right now, or sitting in your closet hiding from your kids like my friend does, or sitting in the bathroom like my other friend does hiding from her kids, get you at least 10 minutes of alone time today, right? Just 10 minutes to be in your thoughts, to love on yourself, to say, Sean, it's gonna be okay, to say, Jaquithia, boo, you got this, brand new mercies in the morning, okay? Just 10 minutes, that's all I'm saying. And if you have littles, let's just say 5 minutes, because they get into stuff real quick. Like, I mean, babies is different, but you know what I mean. But just give yourself some time to love on yourself. You guys have got this. You can do this. And guess what? You're not doing it alone, because I'm here to help you, right? I'm here to help you find that tailor-made fit for your family. You'll have an absolutely wonderful night, and I will see you guys soon. Bye, guys. Thank y'all so much for joining me. Bye, Instagram. Thank you so much for joining me. You're welcome. Have a good night.